Hi, this is Dorothy with Dot Scrapbooking, and these are the two cards that we're going to make uh, for this session of my autumn cards. So I'm making shaker cards because they're fun, and I've got these wonderful autumn sequins, and I need to use them. So this is the card that I'm going to do. I'm taking it from pattern 22 of Make It From Your Heart, Volume 5. And these are the papers that I'm going to use. It's from Pumpkin Spice, which was from the last catalog, from the September-October catalog. And I had some scraps left over, and so I wanted to make some cards with my leftover scraps. So this book has single-page, double-page scrapbooks, scrapbook pages, and cards, all sorts of cards. So it's real fun to use, and you just kind of set it out and pull out your scraps and start going after it. So I'm going to, I've used shortbread, which is one of our new colors, and I used my circle shaker card cutters that has the stitch top to it. So I'm using the lighter part of the shortbread and the darker part for the rim that covers all the stuff you don't want to see. So I'm using the lighter color of the shortbread just so you can get a good shot of all of the sequins so that they're not obstructed. So I always have some problems. You know, my new Tombow does not do that. Those are really old Tombows. So there's a new Tombow out, and I don't have that problem with it. And so I'm going to use that 1-inch strip to do the sentiment for the outside of the card. So this is a stamp set and thin cut set called Pumpkin Spice card making set. I love it. It's really cute. And it's got acorns and pumpkins and a gourd and some little flags for your sentiments. So you always want to make sure that you're going to use your little cushion to do any of your stamping so that you get a good solid stamp. You get a good impression. So the pumpkins are different shapes, so you just have to make sure you've got the right stamp to match with the appropriate cutout shape. So I'm using paprika, and I season it with just rubbing it on my skin to get off the excess pieces. And you get a good solid stamp there. So we're just going to start there. And if you stamp one time, that's the first generation. The second time is the second generation. So I'm going to use a second generation stamp also. Just, you want a little variety, and pumpkins aren't all the same color. And they have lots of different textures and stuff to them, so it doesn't have to be a good solid stamp to be there are... Okay, we'll continue. So I'm cleaning off my stamp and putting it back on the carrier sheet so I don't lose anything. And I've got this little acorn top, so I'm going to use toffee because, acorns are kind of brownish, different shades of brown for sure. And there's two different shapes of acorns, so you have to make sure you've got the right shape stamp to go with the right acorn. So I didn't even realize that at first, to tell you the truth. So the toffee just works out real well. It looks acornish for sure. At least all the thousands that are in my backyard. And then we have kind of a cross-hatching. And so I'm using second generation on the bottom, because usually the bottom of the acorn is a little bit lighter. So there's my acorns. We've got pumpkins and an acorn. So that's gonna, I'm just making a little cluster of things to go towards the bottom of the shaker window. So I'm kind of thinking while I'm working, because these are, I'm using the pattern, so that's real easy. But then, what I've decided to do to, how I want it to look, well, I'm just kind of thinking on the fly. So I'm using these on the back of our zip strips. It tells you the different colors that go with this particular paper set. And so I just wanted to make sure that I had the right color for my papers. Because our colors are just so beautifully blended with the papers, you can match perfectly. And there's a lot to be said for that. That's, there's nothing slightly off. And so you can see that those colors work well with that paper. So it's kind of a stylized forest there. And I'm going to do, I'm putting all the pieces back. So I really like the autumn greetings. And I'm going to do it in Harbor. Now, Harbor is an unusual color. It's also a new color. And it's not a navy blue. It's kind of like a super dark teal blue. See, it has a kind of a teal. It has kind of a little bit of a greenish cast to it, but it's a very deep color. So it sticks out nicely against the shortbread. And I'm just going to make little flag banner edges on either side. So I'm just going to cut down the center and then go from the corner up at a 45 or thereabouts to meet in the middle. So, and I want to do a little distressing on that. So I'm taking a sponge and the Harbor, and just because it's a little, it's kind of a foresty kind of look, and it's kind of rustic. It's out in the forest. It's rustic. Of course it's rustic. So that makes me want to use a little distressing. Okay, so I'm going to start building my little shaker window. And so the first thing I'm going to do is use my poker tool and just kind of go around and make sure that there's no edge that's not going to free up real easily. So this is how I do it. You can also use the edge of a scissor. Poker tool works out pretty well, actually. And so I'm going to take off the outer edge and put it right against the edge of the window there, or the background circle. And then I'm going to push up from behind and just kind of pull those out of the way. So you've got all those little squares that you can use for pop-ups. Okay, I'm taking my anti-static and putting, kind of rubbing the inside of the card, because I'm telling you, these sequins are so incredibly staticky. So I use that little rubber type eraser. It's a glue eraser, and to help me find the corner, otherwise you can be peeling at it for minutes. And I'm also putting a little anti-static on the window, the inside of the window. So I'm kind of putting the paper back over that so that the sequins don't go sticking to all the double stick foam. There's a lot of leaves in this, and then there's some of the real pretty orange sequins and some gold sequins, and there's some little like pink pinkish pearls. So it's really pretty. It's a pretty selection of sequins. And of course I want to put more in because too much is not enough. There we go. So now I'm going to just kind of move it around a little bit so that it's not a big fat thing in the middle, and then flip over my window and put the anti-static part just right over the edge. And so that one came out real good. There's no sequins caught on the double stick foam, and then I'm just going to use a thin amount of Tombow liquid around the cover, and see how that neatens up all the rough edges. And so you have kind of a window. It's a cute little window. And then I'm going to put my autumn's green, and of course I'm going to use these these are real pretty thick squares of foam, and so it'll stick up kind of nice and high. And then I can also put them underneath the little decorations going around the window. So it's kind of handy. I mean, you have this little skinny window piece that you use, but then you have all these great squares, pop-up squares to use for the rest of your decorations. I really like the way that Autumn Greetings looks. And all the little dark things that you see on the background paper is all in the Harbor color. And so I'm just going to put the little acorns and the pumpkins just around. It's not going to go all the way around. It's just going to be, on the edges there. So I like the way my little card came. Then I decided, well, maybe what I'll do is, a little bit of distressing all around the edge. And of course I get ink all over my fingers. So it has it just gives it yeah, see how much ink I've got on my fingers. It just gives it a nice, definite look. See, now something's going on with the color on my camera for some reason. Okay, so I'm gonna put this. Oh, I love the way that looks. I like that paper, that stylized forest. It's just has a different look to it with all the wonderful colors. So I'm using Tombow. I normally don't, but it's want to get all the way out to the edges real good. And with the shaker window, it's a little bit heavy, so I want to have a really stronger glue. And then I'm going to use this is a Picture My Life card. And this is one of the 3x4s. They come in 4x6. In the package, you get 4x6 and 3x4s. And so they're great for decorating your scrapbook pages, but they're also good for making cards. And so I'm going to just kind of decorate the inside of my card. And don't know what I'm going to put. Season of Thanks, maybe? Hopefully I didn't put Autumn Greetings because I put that on the outside, right? Oop! You never know what's going to happen. So anyway, there's enough space at the bottom there that I'm going to put the inside sentiment. I really I'm liking that harbor a whole lot. And then I'm using the Tombow liquid. Also, I go back and forth between the Tombow tape and the liquid. And I like this. It goes nicely with the front of the card. It goes perfectly with the front of the card. So it's a consistent look throughout. And then, of course, I always have to put my own little Hallmark stamp on the back side. And so I could put, made for you by me, but I always, for whatever reason, I always like to use one of the stamps that goes with the card set. And so this is what I'm using, is that wonderful pumpkin. And then, of course, I have to decorate my envelopes because that's what I do. I decorate envelopes. I get all these cards, where people ask for money. And boy, the envelopes are very elaborately decorated now. So you don't want to have a plain old envelope. You want to have a little bit of decoration on it. So I'm going to use the toffee and make a second generation acorn. And so people just have a little hint of what is coming on the inside. So I think that it's a good idea to make cards. And I will tell you, I've probably told you before, that, people really enjoy getting cards. People who can't get out, people who are sick, people who are disabled, people who just have a harder time getting out and about. It's really nice to get a little bit of cheer instead of all the, well, do we even get bills anymore? It's mostly just junk mail, right? And so, the people that I've sent cards to really enjoy the cards that I send. And so that makes me feel really good that they're enjoying them and I enjoy making them. And I just say, it's truly, it means something to people. I just lost a friend on Friday who I sent cards to. And so I do know. I mean, she did tell me that she really liked getting the cards. And so I feel bad that I don't have her to send a card to anymore. And she's my age. I just wasn't. She went very quickly from metastatic breast cancer, 16 years after she was finished with it, she thought. So I'm making another card. And the first card was a portrait card. This is going to be a landscape card. And I'm going all the way out to the edge, but I'm putting paprika background. And then I made the inside piece. This is also another Picture My Life card. The inside piece on the front is 1/4 of an inch smaller all around. So it's 4 inches by 5 1/4. And so I didn't want white on white with this Hello Fall. So I decided to put the wonderful paprika background there and add the Hello Fall, make it stand out. So this is the same idea. I'm using the shortbread for the lighter, the window, the base of the shaker, and the darker is going to be for the outside rim. So aren't those pumpkins? They're just so cute. They're just adorable. So this is going to be over to the side. I'm not making it in the center. I'm going to put it over to the side. By about that much. And we're going to do what we just did before. The anti-static pouch, the little window, wrong side. God, I love how quickly you can peel that back. So an anti-static on the inside of the window. And then you will see why it's a good idea to put that paper back over the double stick foam ring. So I'm doing the same thing. I'm loosening any of the stuck down edges, pulling the little piece off. It's really pretty easy to figure out just exactly where to put it. So you would think, and then you just push a little bit and they come off very easily. So it works really, really well. So now this is why you put the paper back on. So, and it's also why you don't want to use, I'm getting a spoon because I'm really going after it here. That's an ice cream spoon from a frozen yogurt place. Okay, believe it or not, there's a pretty high stack in the middle there. And you see how I've got you see once you start pulling them away, then they all want to stick to the outside edge. That's the static. So, and I put too much in. I mean, I just did. I just put too much in. And then I noticed that I've got sequins that are sticking there, and so I'm pulling them out. That's why you put the paper on there. That works much better. Okay, so you want to make sure you don't want to have an open area where the sequins start falling out. So little skinny amount of glue around the edge. And another little window. I do like these shaker cards. I have not made near enough of them, but I'm going to be making more. I'm going to make a Santa one because wait till you see the absolutely gorgeous snowflakes that we have. And you know, I seem to have a habit of buying anything snowflake. So I'm going to make a snowflake, a big snowflake shaker window. So this is going to get, this little banner is for, it says thankful. And I messed up the edge because I'm not using my little foam. And this is why you want to use the little foam, is because I did not get the end of it. The end of the word got funky. And so I need to get my little foam piece and try again. So that's what you want to do. Of course, if you have a MISTI, that takes care of that also. I do have a MISTI, you know, I never use it. So you see how much better the second one is when it goes against the little foam. So I'm going to go ahead and pop up the little sentiment. And the circle has got some little weird shapes. And so you can use those little weird shapes for your smaller decorative elements here. So that works out perfectly. And because it's lighter, the lighter shortbread, it sticks out nicely from the background. Now I am going to do something, this one's going to be a little bit different. So I'm struggling here, but these wooden stickers, I mean, they are really wooden stickers, came with the pumpkin spice scrapbook workshop. And you can color them with markers. It takes up the color really well, really quickly. But I just love these little wooden shapes. I mean, I hope they do more of them. So I'm using also the rest on my sticker sheet. And I am just making a little kind of a wreath rim around my shaker card, my shaker window, I mean. So they have all these little teensy leaves and acorns on the sticker sheet. And I am just decorating the heck out of that little outside window. Ring around the shaker. So they have cute little acorns, cute little leaves. Look how cute that acorn is. So I love these things. So if you can kind of roll one off, then it comes pretty easily. So I thought that was just, I'm just making the card, even though it's the same layout of the cards are going to look, very different from each other. So, you just want to give people something to look at and something to shake and something to, have a little fun with, a little whimsy. So there's that card. I do like those. But you know what? They have this bow that is so pretty. And I just decided I wanted to put something on the other shaker window because it looks kind of, now compared to the other one, it looks kind of plain. And so I take out the bow. And it's just a little something to top it off. There we go. See how cute? Just a little something extra. Okay, so there's that. Now, hello fall. Now I want to put the background. So I just have the back left, and I'm going to use, I love this wheat. And it's certainly the season that you use that for decorating. And I really like the way it looks. So I'm going to do second generation. There we go. And then one in the middle. So just fun to do. And, it's really fun making the autumn cards because it's, probably one of my favorite seasons is autumn. I just love the crisp air and the leaves. I don't know why my lights are changing. They're changing along with the leaves. I don't know what's going on. There must be maybe I've got a loose wire in the back. I have to check that because sometimes it goes yellow on me. So frustrating. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out what else to put on here. It looks kind of lonely. So I'll put a little gourd. Little gourd. And who knows what else. We'll see. So if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please subscribe, and you can work along with me. I have some gals that like to scrap along with me when I do scrapbook pages. I'm putting some leaves there because the leaves are awfully cute. And if you want to make the cards, they don't have to be perfect. You can get close, just like, like I'm doing. I get close. And I'll be doing 2 more after this video. I'll be doing 2 more autumn cards. And I'm taking some pictures from the catalog, and I'll recreate them. And so that's what our catalogs are good for. They've got, so that's my little cluster with gratitude. They've got great ideas in the catalog, so you can just copy them. You can just get close on the measurements. So I wanted to show you that our core catalog still has the shaker window thin cuts and the little foam and the windows. So you can still get the circles, and they will be available at least until August of 2022. So even though mine is old, you can still get it. So there's that card. And let me put some of my stuff away. And then here's the other card. So that's what we started with, and I showed you how we got there. So here we are. So thanks for watching, and I am going to be sending these cards to some of my friends that can't get out because of their illness. So thank you. Bye now.